Hello. I'm Jim Gerdeman, author of Constitution Commandments. And Mary Jo and I have just finished this book. Thank you very much. We've just finished it and we're very proud of it. You know, Americans are very generous people. We have given our treasure, our time, and our talents to good people, poor people, all over the world. And we always have. We've kind of established that as a paradigm. When Moses came down from the mountain, he brought us 10 rules to follow, 10 commandments. And we're going to use those 10 commandments in this book to follow the dealings of Washington, D.C. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's sort of like when, it's a public confession, if you will, with open suggestions for penance. That'd be one way of looking at it. So, yeah, that's the kind of thing it is. You know, the Founding Fathers used the Founding Fathers used the 10 Commandments to develop our country. And that's what we have, a country that was set up based on those 10 Commandments and the Judeo-Christian beliefs. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here today. Now, when you send people from all around our country to Washington, something happens to them. They get very creative and they develop what looks like a much different situation. No, it's not that funny, but that's what happens when you take a simple government, you apply some creativity, and all of a sudden you wind up with a government like this. And of course we explain some of that process as we look in the book. There are many diagrams in the book. This one projects many years of budget. Notice it's deficit every year. This one shows a particular year that was submitted by a president for approval, and it shows that they are creating debt in the tune of $1 trillion. The brick represents $1 trillion, and as we add those up, we get what we question is the fiscal responsibility of anybody in Washington, D.C. to be able to handle our country. Now they say, oh, don't worry, we're going to save $100 billion a year. We're going to save $1 trillion in 10 years. That's $100 billion saved, and we're only going to spend an additional $5 trillion to get that done. That seems a little expensive, doesn't it? Now, one of the things we need to do, it's time. Our country's old enough now, we need to go back to basics. We need to trim. We need to be acting almost like a very mature corporation does. We have to trim the fat and get back to basics. One way to do that is for all of us to ask our God, to pray to our God, so that our country can return to the good government that it once had. Now, whether this is my church in Clyde, Ohio, and whether you want to go to my church or your own synagogue, please go. Reestablish your relationship with God and help them with to help our country gain and be better. This is the Constitution Commandments. That's what I've written. jdgerdeman.com. jdgerdeman.com.